Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Waha, Rachaha Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles and the elder bishops and the elders at the Great Millstone GMS who rule well and who teach well, laboring in this word and doctrine, and are our true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today, whether you accept it or not. Sincere salutations goes out to the hopeful elect out there, noising this gospel abroad and lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, wherever they are located at in sincerity and in truth, and Yahweh Shai is coming back very soon. Okay, to take this devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, out of power. Abba Ratazah, which means Father willing, so Father willing, this lesson shall be edifying. As you can see on your screen, alright, I got this article from endtimeheadlines.org, dated the 6th of August 2026, the year of sellouts, apostates and agents. Now today over here in the UK, the bottomless pit, it is Saturday, the 8th of August 2026. Alright? You see, the average person sees this as another problem in their minds. Oh, America will just fix it, no problem. You know, like it's something minor. Alright, or we just move on as always. However, what we see is the downfall of this man's kingdom, starting with the USA, Babylon the Great. And famine is coming. Okay? Type in food insecurity into Google. Look at this. US has only 43-day emergency buffer of crude oil left. America's oil reserves are running dry. The USA is finished. You know what, in my humble opinion, I reckon another L down will happen in March 2027. 7 years after the first one. You know, 7 being the spiritual number, meaning completion. Okay? Alright? The first lockdown happened in March 2020. March 2027. I reckon another one will happen then. It'll be exactly 7 years. Alright? That's just the spirit that, you know, I'm operating in right now. That's just in my humble opinion. I'm not saying that's definite, but, you know, Lord willing it does, and, you know, the economy can't bounce back from that. So yeah, the prices of goods are going up. Jobs are hard to get. And when you're in one, they're hard to keep for an Israelite. Okay? The managers on your case and they're watching you and all this sort of stuff, man. That's not living, that's not life. Sitting stuck in traffic, going night shifts, doing night shifts. That's not normal. That's not living. It's not how life is supposed to be, but what do you expect when white people are running it? The elites. See, if a single country runs out of its domestic crude oil reserves, all right, its economy relies heavily on global imports to keep functioning. See? So yeah, a country runs out of its domestic crude oil reserves, then the economy definitely relies on global imports, you know, to carry on operating. Because where are they going to get it from? All right? So get ready to pay for more petrol. So people are going to start panic buying again. All right? Hyperinflation and price spikes. Remaining fuel and energy costs surge instantly. Don't forget, even commercial trucking, right? Global shipping fleets and aviation, all right? Ground to a halt without liquid hydrocarbons. They need that. Remember, even plane fares going up. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of strikes. You know, there's been some strikes over the past few years. All right. Even over here in the UK, like train strikes. Okay. Airport ones as well. Yeah, man. Flight cancellations. Don't forget about that. Okay. Plus you had heat wave in Europe. Yeah. So price spikes are already here. Wait until it increases even more. American crude oil reserves have plunged to their lowest point in 45 years, leaving the United States with only a 43-day emergency supply as the ongoing conflict with Iran continues to unsettle global energy markets. Man, we're happy to see this, man. There's no healing Babylon the Great, America. It's circling the drain. It's not getting any better. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. If you can't see that by now, then come on, get with the program. According to a report from the Mirror, drawing on data from Bank of America Global Research compiled by Bloomberg, the nation now holds just 43 days of crude oil, including strategic petroleum reserve stocks, well below the long-term average of about 65 days. The thinning stockpile marks the lowest such measure since the 1980s and leaves far less room to absorb further shocks. There now exists a thinner cushion against any potential disruptions should the fighting in the Middle East escalate further, the reporting notes. Markets are already on edge over tightening supplies as US airstrikes on Iran persist, heightening fears that shipments through the critical Strait of Hormuz could face additional interruptions. Okay. Yeah, man. Your supermarkets, shelves will be empty quickly. Okay. As distribution of goods ceases. Alright? Remember, them trucks need to haul goods. Alright? If they can't feel the need, and there's going to be more problems in it. So yeah, there's going to be a supply chain fragmentation. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. Lord willing, you're receiving this message clearly through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahushai, and you're being thoroughly edified. And that this transmission, is good for you. You can hear me loud and clear. I'm just at the plantation right now on break. Okay. So 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. We'll start verse 18. And it reads, "And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled." You have to reap what you sow. You sown wickedness in the earth, man. You touched the apple of the Lord's eye, which are us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Alright? The Lord's chosen people. You see? This is the beginning of those birth pains that Yahushua spoke about. Famine of food, pestilences, inflation. Okay? You got a lot to pay for, man. You have a lot to pay for. Jill Bates, you have a lot to pay for. Dr. Fauci, you have a lot to pay for. Mark my words, man. And you're hearing this from me. I hope you see this and hear this. Okay? Verse 20, "And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see altogether." Yeah, not the Quran. Okay. But you see, we can see the prophecies, the biblical prophecies unfolding in real time clearly through the Spirit. Alright, we've got that spiritual eye salve. Alright. Verse 21, "And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices, the women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly," here's the point, "shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." Yeah, Costco's, BJ's, Whole Foods, over here in the UK, Asda's, Sainsbury's, your Tesco's, your Morrison's. Gonna be empty. This is coming. You'll see a few things there, and then you'll see nothing there after that. Yeah, so this is coming. Just wait until there's nothing left in these supermarkets. You see how people react. Watch. Verse 23. "And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." What do you think will happen when you can't feed your children, you can't feed your family, you can't feed your loved ones? Come on, man. And they lock things down. People will become madmen. Mad as shark, man. Okay. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Right, that's this understanding, this truth, this knowledge. Okay. But wait until your cheap foods like your bread and your cheese and your milk get extremely, extremely expensive. Okay. Healthy things already cost a lot too, right now. Here it is, your cheap shit, right? All your sweet biscuit and all that stuff is cheap, okay? But the healthy things you have to pay more for, even though all the food is defiled. But this devil has the highest IQ, and there's such loving, God-fearing people that care for the people. Come on, man. Give me a break, man. Seriously. Let's go into the word measure.
Strong's G 5518. Choiniques.
Yeah. Dry measure containing 4 kosle or 2 setari, less than our quart, 1 litre, or as much as would support a man of moderate appetite for a day. Yeah. You know, you got people like you that gorge themselves, man. Yeah. You obese people as well. Oh yeah, you're gonna lose weight when famine comes. You massive ones. You massive cunts, you're gonna lose weight. Watch. Forget about that. Hey. Especially you fat Edomites, man. Alright? If you don't want to go gym, fine. When the famine comes in, you know, you'll lose weight. That, you know, weight loss plan you got. Let the famine take care of that. Right? But yeah, this going into your food being rationed. We're living in those times now, man. And who is at the forefront of it? Manufactured food shortage, manufactured energy crisis, farmers being squeezed out. Right now, we are living at a time of inflation. See, people think things are all good because, you know, you got your Burger King, you got your KFC, your McDonald's, all right, your Wendy's. But things are changing, okay? I know I'm flicking between Bible apps, but sometimes I like to get a different version and go into words, and you can't do that on the KJV Apocrypha one. Back to second, I just go to chapter 16. Bring these scriptures out over and over again. Okay. Start verse 19. Second Esdras chapter 16. Verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So these are the things that's being prepared on earth as we speak. Okay. And you think people will change their ways, but they double down in their wickedness. Verse 20. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, you see? Just like I was just saying. Nor be always mindful of the scourges. Right? These things are, you get punished to teach you a lesson so you don't do it again. These people are different out here, man. I'm telling you. People are not considering what's coming down the pipeline, especially our people. Verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. That's right. You see, you think just because you got your Taco Bell, your Popeyes, you know, they're open and all that, you got your favorite takeaway open late, you can order online like that, yeah, that things are good. You know, you can go to your grocery store, you know, and still see your meat and your fish and stuff like that, and other products on the shelf. As you can see, man, the prices of food are going up. That's not going to always be the case. Yeah, you can still get them, McDonald's meal deals and whatever. But looking around, man, rent is increasing, gas is increasing. You see how E operates? Okay. 15-minute smart cities. Okay. The MOTB infrastructure is pretty much here. Okay. And all roads leads down to the RFID macro C being mandated. The MOTB, the mark of the BEAST. Of the speaking code, You see? Food rationing is coming. And that's not going to be the only thing that's going to be rationed either. Just look up history on rationing in World War I, World War II and stuff like that. Alright? You see how this devil operates already? Cannot manage things properly. Now, we know why this is happening. The Most High is using them to do all this. Okay? But yeah, I have to suffer through it. Okay, we understand it's Bible prophecy at the end of the day, and it has to happen. But the Lord's elect, shall eat. My servant shall eat. Okay? As the scripture says. And shall drink. Verse 22. 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, die of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So if the famine doesn't get you, something else will, and that's going to happen. Ultimately, this will all be done through E. You know which people I'm talking about when I say that. So lucky for that, man. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 6, verse 6. I'll read it again. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, let's go into the word penny this time.
Strong's G 1220. Denarion. Denarion.
Yeah, we know they had the denarius in the ancient Western Roman Empire, and at one point it became devalued. Right, they had their form of inflation. All right, meaning your money lost its buying power. It took more money, which became what? Corroded, with lesser metals to get less goods. All right, today's denarian is the dollar, US dollar. All right, that's been devalued day by day. A Roman silver coin in New Testament time, it took its name from it being equal to 10 asses, a number after 217 BC, increased to 16. It was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. From the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wages. Okay? Yeah. Either over currencies, like is it the Kuwait dinar? That's very valuable. All right. Yeah. Especially in so-called Middle Eastern nations. The American dollar's still up there. British pound is still, strong. Euro's quite strong. The Swiss franc is strong too. Switzerland currency. Yeah. All right. Even some the British passport is still strong too. Even some passports. The Japan passport, South Korea are up there too. Singapore passport is strong as well. You could look into that, that's ChatGPT, like top strongest currencies in the world right now, top strongest passports in the world right now. Okay? But back to this, one of the things that led to the decline and the fall of the Roman Empire was inflation, hyperinflation. Same thing is happening all over again. There's nothing new under the sun. History repeats itself. Okay? America is spiritual Rome, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Nineveh. Okay? Spiritual Sodom and Egypt. One of the things that is synonymous with that is food rationing. Okay? Yeah. Again, it happened in Rome. The soldiers back then had food rationed to them. That will happen again in the USA, even in the UK too. Right, you see things are shutting down. Energy production is it's just being shut down. Okay. So it will take more money to get particular goods, all right, on planet Earth, especially where food is concerned, because obviously people need to eat. This will lead to food shortages, which will lead to famine, which of course will lead to even harder times, desperate times. This will lead to people invading and destroying each other due to lack of bread. That will lead to cannibalism. That will happen. It will become reality. Okay? That's what the rest of our article says. The crisis traces back to late February, when initial US strikes on the Islamic Republic prompted Iran to seize control of the strait and halt through traffic. That waterway normally carries roughly 20% of the world's oil. That's crucial. Okay? Any fresh disruption there would hit global supplies that are already sitting at multi-decade lows, while lower inventories do not automatically signal an immediate shortage. The reduced buffer means the system has far less capacity to weather unexpected interruptions, as has occurred after past supply shocks. Oil markets have responded with heightened volatility. Oil prices have always been sensitive to geopolitical developments, and the situation unfolding as a result of the Iran war isn't any different, the account observes. In mid-July, Brent crude jumped more than 2% and briefly cleared the $90 per barrel mark in early Asian trading. US West Texas Intermediate stood near $84.48 or $84.48 a barrel at one point, up about 2.4% since the middle of June. Prices have swung sharply throughout the roughly 5-month conflict, at times reaching $102 a barrel and feeding higher gasoline costs and shipping expenses. It's going down, man. Bad news for you, E. Alright, good news for us. Bad news for you, the nations, too. Man, I want to see my enemies just writhe in pain, man. I love to see heathens in pain and just down and out, man. I love to see them suffer. Love it, man. Love it. Hey. Helampo, the host. Revelation chapter 6, verse 7. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the four beasts say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Oh yeah, the beasts are gonna do a lot of deleting. All right, scripture talks about how the wild beasts shall change their places. You're gonna see bears in the streets, right? They're gonna be looking for food too. Their habitats are being destroyed as well by this damn devil. Okay, the animals have to pack up and leave their homes. Okay, other wild beasts too. Yeah, it's gonna get litty. Telling you right now, man. So starvation is coming, death is coming in many different ways. Trucks won't bring in deliveries. All the food products and stuff like that, everything is not going to get to its destination. Storehouses suddenly found empty. Yeah. That's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. Right. Don't have much time left. Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 21, verse 25. In the words of Yahushua, as you can see it's in red. Subheading says, the return of Hamashiach. Verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Yeah, this month there will be a 6-planet alignment. Okay, I think I screenshotted that actually. Yeah. There'll be a rare planet alignment on August the 12th. On August the 12th this year, 2026, sky watchers will have a chance to see a rare 6-planet alignment. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus will appear lined up along the ecliptic. Before some of these devil naming planets after pagan gods. Alright. Create one of the most impressive planetary displays of the year. While the planets won't form a perfect straight line in space, they'll appear grouped together from our perspective on Earth, making it a great morning to look up. Yeah. 6 planets that will align, 6 planets. So the Lord is speaking and he's visiting the earth which he made. So why do you think there's so many earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes and tsunamis and all sorts of natural disasters? Now, obviously, we know he has his weather modification program like HARP and cloud seeding technology. You know, and he can cause things like that to happen, like rain, heavy rainfall and stuff like that. And earthquakes, conjure them up. But ultimately, it's still the Lord doing it. He's behind it, is what I mean. Obviously, the Lord does no iniquity, but the Lord is in control. Yeah. WEF executive, water, soil, and oxygen should not be unlimitedly accessible. They are assets that must be included in our global economic balance sheets. Klaus Schwab. Damn devil, man. Look at your face. Coming like Crush Kalalu. Man, too looking nice skin. These are the people that run the world, man. It's pure wickedness. Look, man, water comes from the sky. That's free. Air, you need oxygen. That's free to breathe. Come on, man. They're gonna weaponize they weaponize the food against us. They've weaponized everything. Because they have that God complex. They want to run and control every aspect of your life and they want you to come to them and serve them as if they're God. 7 and 4-year-old brothers take parents' car, critically injure woman walking dog in Auckland crash. Yeah, death angels are out here, man. Okay. Let's go into the word perplexity. Don't have much time. Don't say much. The state of one who is in perplexity. Aporia. Let's go into the root word.
Strong's G 639. Apareo. Apareo.
Yeah, so the Lord is working. That's why it's imperative to pay attention, especially to the prophecies, because the Lord is speaking through the men of the Lord, the prophets that he has set up, all right, in these last days. So we are at the end. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to this word. To be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn. A lot of people are going to be in all of this. To be at loss with oneself, be in doubt. Many people can experience all of this. Not to know how to decide or what to do, to be perplexed. Yeah, confused. Have no clue. The look on people's faces, it's going to be more than priceless. To have nothing, all right? Starving there like you just water leaking out your mouth, man. Yeah. That's going to happen to a lot of you out there. Let's go to verse 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear. Heart attacks, strokes. Okay. And for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, which it will. It will. Yahushua said this. It's going to happen. It has to. Whether you like it or not, or agree with it or not, it's going to happen. Okay. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Yeah. Terrible, man. Let's go to the book of the prophet Isaiah, prophet of the Lord. In the book of Isaiah, there are prophecies. Chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. The elect men of the Lord will be stable, through faith. Okay. All right. You have this truth as a guiding light. Right, to navigating the times coming. See, Esau is the devil the Holy Bible speaks of. You will find out that you've been bamboozled. All right. And you've been lied to. That's white people for you. He's taking advantage of you. You've been deceived by him. Oh, yeah. All right? So get ready to pay for far more than you bargained for. It's only a matter of time. And it's close. Look at this. From Euronews, Iran and Oman agree route for ships in Strait of Hormuz, Tehran says. Published on the 5th of the 8th, 2026. Shalom.